You know what you're doing.
On to Tottenham for a minute. Deji, what went wrong today, bro? What went wrong today for Tottenham?
I think for me, I've heard others say it, and to a certain extent, I was trying to deflect from it. But the drop off in Udogie and Ben Davis, and on the right hand side, Emerson Royale with Porro, it just didn't work, man. I mean, Neto cooked Ben Davis. I mean, it was just a disgrace, to be honest with you, and it just isn't forming right. And I do have to say, I'm not trying to blame the kind of competitions, but with Arsenal, the one good thing that has happened is that you've had an opportunity to build momentum and rhythm, and it shows in your games, and you're doing what you're doing. The momentum's been allowed to build. Us, unfortunately, we've had players that have been away in other competitions, and so even we've not had our best lineup in ages. So we lack rhythm, we lack that kind of understanding, that opportunity to cook and get the players working the systems. But today, for me, I thought Emerson Royale was just so poor. Ben Davis was so poor. They don't give us anything going forward. They don't give us anything defensively. And Wolves exploited that. The other thing was Wolves were really up for it today, and they played some really good stuff. Gomez, I haven't seen him all year. Turns up, pops in, scores 2 brilliant goals. But Neto, for me, that's where I think Spurs are unforgivable. We need a right winger to beat a man, because we know
need to sign Neto.
That guy. We should have been going in for Pedro Neto, not Brennan Johnson. We brought in Johnson instead of Neto, and that's what you get. You get slapped up. So for me, it was poor. The sooner we get Udogie back and Porro back, then I think we will be at a point where we can start to cook. But we need to build momentum and rhythm, and we don't have that yet.
Yeah. How about yourself, Dan? I mean, a disappointing result after sort of the euphoria of that last-minute winner last week.
Mm-hmm.
Villa winning as well today, no good. United might close that gap as well as they play Luton tomorrow. How disappointed are you with today's performance from your team?
I'm disappointed because the mistakes we made for those goals were completely avoidable. Like, most of the times when they would get chances, it was just us being sloppy, giving the ball away. Emerson Royale thinking he's Ronaldinho, trying to dribble past 3 players and not make the 4th, and then losing the ball. And it's just frustrating because the decision-making on these footballers is just incredible. That second goal that they scored, Gomez was wide open. It's Bissouma's man, and I'm not gonna say nothing about because Bissouma was class today. I think Bissouma today was fantastic defensively and on the ball. But on that one, he has Gomez behind him, and he's just standing there with nobody. Neto crosses the ball back in, and Gomez is by himself. And the same thing happens for the free kick. He's by himself. I don't know what it is with set pieces, but we have absolutely no clue how to mark players with set pieces. Brandon, calm down. You're going to bottle the league anyways. And you're going to bottle all the trophies you're in anyways. You're not going to win nothing for the next 3 years, and you're going to be in the same position you are right now in 3 years. So calm down. Arsenal
winning from a Spurs fan.
Yeah, winning from an Arsenal fan. Like, I don't know why Arsenal fans think that they
Bro,
can give me advice.
Relax. I've got 13 league titles. I don't even need to compete with you guys on a title.
How many European titles?
Terry, I'm talking to
how many European cups do you have?
Wow, what are European cups that you have, bro?
What are European cup is the biggest pedigree in football.
Please pull out your Champions League. If you ain't got a Champions League, please don't speak about it, Akhi. Please.
Hang on, where's he gone?
He's gonna get a plastic one.
Oh my God, we're finished. Yes, we're finished, bro. We're finished. I'm done. I'm done. I will lie. Bro, that is the only thing that Danny came back from. That's the only thing that Danny came back with from that Champions League final. That's
I'm gonna be honest. I'm the only one on here that should have one of them. If I'm being honest with you, you know what I mean? I'm the only one here. No, look, I know Spurs did look poor today, but is this just, boys, do you think this is just a one-off bad result? You're not going to go on another slump again. What do you think, Dej?
Do you know what? What I find I think it was a bad day in the office. And like I was saying to my brother earlier, do you know what I mean? Sometimes there are teams that just have your number. And this season, Wolves had our number. I'm just going to put my hand up. We were poor in both games. But that doesn't mean that Spurs ain't going to finish in the top 4. That doesn't mean that we've had a bad season. You got to remember where Spurs were. And the fact that some fans are rattled by the development in my club means that Postecoglou is obviously doing the right thing. But look, he's only been at the club 7 months, and he's doing what he's doing, and we've got other teams rattled. Some teams have had their manager for 5 years, and they're hoping that maybe this is the season that they get it over the line. I should add that if you don't get it over the line and you finish in the top 4 and Spurs finish in the top 4, then we've had pretty much the same type of season. given that our manager's done it in less time. So just hold that for a sec.
And Deji,
But
in
apart from
Arteta's
that-
first season, they finished 7th.
You know, so but you know, for me, bad day at the office. Overall, Spurs fans would have been biting off your hand if you said to them, 25 games in, you guys are sitting 5th in the Premier League based on the dusty football we were playing last season. So for me, I'm happy with it. Whatever we do from here on, it's a positive season, and we continue to cook. We continue to rebuild. We know we're not the finished article, but you know, we'll see where we are come end of the season.
We also want a trophy.
Let me.
Yeah, sorry,
Community Shield. I've got one of those in my kitchen. It's like a plate
an FA
that I eat
Cup.
food in. FA Cup. Oh yeah, that with Unai Emery's squad. Okay.
So-
Can I ask the Tottenham lads a question? Because obviously, defensively, you lot have been a lot of suspect. I've been a fan of Ange actually and what he's been doing. Like removing all bias aside, I can see the progress in terms of patterns of play, offensive football. But defensively, you lot have been calamitous over the, a lot over the season, so to speak. And
It's okay.
hasn't been
Over the
addressed.
season, because we've had half our defense out. Let's be real.
Yeah.
We've had our
When-
best centre back pairing.
when
It's
you
like
have-
you having, it's like you having Zinchenko and Ben White at centre back. I don't think you guys would be in the top 3 if you had those two as your centre back pairing. So let's just be honest. But equally, if you deep it really with Spurs so far this season, since the Chelsea game, we've not had our best 11 on the pitch. Whereas I think you guys have had maybe 1 or 2 missing. We've had like 4 or 5 players missing. So now what we need now is a period of time where we can start with our best 11. Now look at this. We were hoping to have our first strength 11 for this game. And then Udogie and Porro, we get the news yesterday that they're not about. So we still haven't been able to put our strongest 11 together. The sooner we're able to do that, the sooner we cook. We think Porro will be back next week. Udogie will be back. And then we'll start cooking. I said it this week and I'll say it again. I think when Tottenham have their first 11, we can go toe-to-toe with you, man. We can go toe-to-toe with Liverpool.
Deji, let me say something. Let me say something.
Hang on, guys. Because you all started talking. I didn't hear what the end of what Deji said. You said go toe-to-toe with Arsenal and Liverpool.
I think Tottenham's first 11 is as good as Arsenal's, Liverpool's.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I actually don't hate that, like genuinely being like an unbiased Arsenal fan here. I live in North London. I've got a lot of Arsenal mates, got a lot of Spurs mates. I've actually really enjoyed watching Tottenham this season, and that's genuinely the case. And that's something I can't say from previous years, because I know Tottenham mates that have season tickets at the stadium, and it got to a point under Conte, Mourinho, Nuno, where you just did not even want to go to the game. Some of them, like you're watching the worst possible football. This year, when I go and watch Tottenham games on the TV, I'm actually entertained by what I'm watching. Obviously, I don't want them to win, being an Arsenal fan, but I can enjoy the football I'm watching. Now, I didn't watch the game today. Obviously, I was watching the Arsenal game. But I've seen from Spurs this season a bit more actual understanding and philosophy from Ange. They went to United a few weeks ago and they drew 2-2. But I saw real method of play from Tottenham there. They went to Old Trafford and they had an idea of domination and control of the game. So I think you give the man a lot of time. Porro's a big miss because I think he's been superb this season. Yes. Van der Ven as well, equally brilliant. The keeper, Vicario, man, I think he's been brilliant as well. So look, I don't think that Spurs have the team to challenge for the title right now. And when I predicted top 4 at the start of the season, I had Man United in there instead of Tottenham, which I think a lot of people would have had given Kane left. But I think it's building blocks. And I think Spurs fans overall should be very happy. And when rival fans start to actually say stuff against your club, that's a good sign, because that means they've got a bit of fear around it. Now, I'm not saying I fear Tottenham right now, but I do think you're a very, very good team for an absolute fact. And I think you're building bit by bit, which is the main thing. I didn't see that under your previous managers, whereas I see that under Ange.
I agree. Let me say what we need to do as a football club right now. Daniel Levy. I don't know if you watched the football terrace, Daniel. Sack the medical department. It's impossible that they get injured for absolute. What have they been injured from? What did Udogie get injured from? They didn't look injured at the end of the game against Brighton. Porro didn't look injured. How do these players keep getting injured? And it's not.
Do you not think it's to do with his hard running style? I think Klopp had the same issues at Liverpool, right? So
look, I knew this question was going to be presented, whether Ange Postecoglou's training methods or the way that he plays is the issue. We had the same issue on the Mourinho, we had the same issue on the Poch, we had the same issue on the Conte, and we had the same issue on the Nuno Espirito Santos. This is not a problem with the way that the managers play. This is a problem with the medical team. They don't know what they're doing. They got the degree in medical using ChatGPT. They cheated all their exams online. They probably graduated in the COVID year, and they don't know what they're doing. They have no clue on what they're doing as a medical department. They're lost.
But I hear you, Dan. But just like the Arsenal fans, sorry, friend, but thank you for your kind of unbiased assessment of my club so far this season. The truth of the matter is, what Spurs fans wanted to see was an improvement in that dusty Conte football. Have we seen an improvement? Yes. And dare I say it, we have overachieved to a certain extent because based on the football that we've seen, really and truly, we should have been aiming for top 6, but we're now aiming for top 4. And if we get top 4 or top 5, is it a good season for Spurs given the circumstances? It is. But obviously, when you have a good run like the way we started the season, expectations change. Just like Arsenal fans, you guys have changed. Before, you guys were shaking your bum for top 4. And all of a sudden, Brandon comes with his Armani suit, and now he's shaking his bum violently for the league. That's what happens when things start to go your way. 3 or 4 wins on the trot can do that, and that's what we're seeing with Arsenal, and that's what we're not quite seeing with Spurs. But I will say this: the Premier League this season will be decided by the games against Spurs. Whoever is able to get past my club is the team that's going to win the league this season. We still have a hand in it either way.
By the way, you said the expectation changed. The expectation all season has been to win the league. It's not been top 4. It's never been.
No, he's talking about last year. Last year, you started the season saying, "Okay, we want top 4," and then you started being 95% of the league, top of the league, and then you guys last minute you changed your expectations once you bottled it to Man City.
4. Like, of course, the expectation is going to be what we just bottled. Like, we bottled top 4. Of course, we're going to go for like. Okay,
I know, but that's what he's saying.
But also, it's not about who beats Spurs, because if we all beat Spurs, it doesn't matter.
You're not all going to beat Spurs. You're not all going to beat
it's going to be. Well, we'll go to some of these super chats, people. This here says, Terry, all these people with their poor analysis. I felt you were right. This team was waiting to turn it up a gear, and we were better than most actively give us credit for. I think this run will. I just felt it was more likely that you were pacing yourself than it was your manager had a team that was close to win the league last year, signs Kai Havertz, and then completely changes every element of the way you play. It looks exactly the same as last year, but at a slower pace. Why have I seen this before? 13 seasons of watching my team win the league and 25 years of watching us compete for it every single season. That made far more sense to me than this weird notion that the whole system was changed to accommodate Kai Havertz, which just sounded far-fetched. Arsenal have the most games this season, scoring 4 or more in the Premier League. Porto away next. Let's go. That's a crazy stat, if true. I'm going to take O'Malley at his word here. Playing with Plan B mids, Odegaard 10, 29, and Rice. Imagine if we had Plan A mids playing Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. It could be even better. That's true. It's working well now. Started off the season slow to pace ourselves. Now we are hitting third gear in February, when usually we fall off around this time. We are the hunters now. City and Liverpool cannot afford to slip up. Come on, you gooners. Terry, this is for Spurs fans. I am buzzing 5-0. And Spurs battered, I think it means battered, but battered by Wolves. What a buttered, probably like say, but what a weekend. I thought Kiwior played really well. His performance might go under the radar. Yeah, I said it in my opening speech. I thought he was excellent. There's one bit of shadow when he did. Well, I don't remember the player. Was it Fofana when he got round Saliba quite easily, really? And then the way Kiwior shadowed him out, it was great. If Man United win tomorrow, they're only 3 points behind Spurs.
Let's not bring up this gimmick. Let's not bring up this gimmick.
Whoa, my club is not a gimmick.
No, this gimmick that you man. This gimmick that you man can catch us. You see how embarrassing this is. Wait. No. This what just happened is a monumental moment. What just happened on this show live is a monumental moment. We have an Arsenal fan that just said, "Come on, United." Long-standing rivalry between Arsenal and United just broken because people are frightened about.
No. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. Tottenham, Man United are scum. Tottenham are a different type of scum.
I hate United.
They're a different type of scum, bro. They're a different type of scum. Like, you know what I mean? I hate Tottenham. I am. Listen, I am
you don't win the league.
I'm an Arsenal fan, bro. So Tottenham is number 1 for me, bro. I hate them over everybody else. Yeah. This whole Man United thing, I understand it because we had a rivalry for a long time, of course. But that Tottenham one has been from the start, bro. That's from the beginning. Yeah, and
hate
right now, Danny, bro, Danny is just
to move
Danny.
from Woolwich
Listen,
to North
Danny
London. That's when the
Danny
rivalry
is just
started.
Danny is just getting a bit shook right now because he can
Sure.
feel fire on the back of his neck, bro. Them Red Devils are gonna catch him, bro, soon.
Sir Jim,
You know what I mean,
Sir
bro?
Jim is coming. Sir
Sure.
Jim is coming for you. No, we won't do it. You will be, trust me, especially when our new 90,000 seat stadium opens. And that's, I'm talking 10 years' time, but watch out, boys. City needs to be at Chelsea with more than 5 goals for getting second. Beat them, sorry. Even if City beat Chelsea, will stick into second place. Chelsea, please do something. Well, 0-0 as it stands right now. Wolves 10th. They've gone above Chelsea. Deji, mad because you got beat by Wolves at your home. West Ham beat Spurs, got scored something. Got scored
I find it
in
difficult to read what this
by
guy's
Burnley earlier this season. West Ham is Arsenal's bogey team. Thank you, Robert. This year says Arsenal win and Spurs lose ground in the title race. God, imagine 2 injuries derailing against Wolves is what Eduardo says.